Eternal Strands. Fight epic towering creatures while blending magical abilities in your arsenal of weapons to keep the world from crumbling in its third-person action-adventure game. Use the world as a weapon and your magical abilities to change the climate. So this feels extremely similar to Immortals Fenyx Rising by Ubisoft, but since they cancelled the sequel to that game, this is the next best option. So as you can see, the environment has lots of objects that you can pick up, like rocks, barrels, wooden, anything, most things you are able to pick up with your magic ability and throw towards enemies or anything in your way. The effects in this game look so cool, and I can't wait to see the upcoming puzzles that this game has to offer. So you do get boss fights in this game, and interestingly enough, this boss is very interesting. So the bow doesn't do any damage, and your sword is hard to get hit because his range is just so incredible. Now I've looked in the settings 4 times to find a lock on. I just want to lock onto the enemy so my attacks are gonna hit instead of me missing him 50% of the time. I looked 4 times and there's an option called camera lock. Press tab and it does nothing. I don't know if that's enemy lock, I don't know. If it's not, there's no option to lock onto enemies. If it is, it's bugged and nothing happens when I press this button. I do feel like they need an enemy lock in this game. I do feel like the option should be on by default. It's kind of impossible to play without it. Even before this boss fight, I was struggling on the little enemies. They are so fast and most of the time you just don't hit them with the sword. So I thought, okay, so what if we don't kill him with the bow or sword? Let's try and use the environment. Well, I couldn't pick up this rock, so then I thought, let's use my magical abilities. He's fire, I'm gonna put frost on him. This should do lots of crit damage. It actually didn't do anything, it did 0 damage. So this game does have like hub areas where you can change your weapons, upgrade your character, just talk to NPCs, and it's kind of a nice home environment. Now there is an option for a two-handed weapon. I think this is where the game will shine for me because I love playing two-handed weapons in games. Also, the armors to get your character looking different and how you want them to look is definitely a nice addition, and you can swap out these armors if there's a boss fight coming up, for example. I'm trying to use the environment as much as possible to my advantage, and it's working out really well. It just means you can get an extra hit or 2 off the enemies. The map design in this game is honestly incredible, and the scenery, you can go to any ledge or any cliff and just look at the map, and it's so pretty. This is the type of game where you can take hundreds of screenshots on your playthrough. The different enemy variants and different enemy types in this game is something to pay attention to. It just changes it up, and it means you can go exploring and just find a completely different enemy that you wouldn't find. The way you are able to traverse this terrain is actually really cool. So you can climb up almost anything with a stamina bar. You can also press space to climb up it faster. Just look at the environment here, it's so well thought of, it's so pretty to actually look at. So the amount of variety in magic abilities, in your environment objects that you can throw, in the actual environment creation, there's so much here that you will not get bored. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. So this fight I actually didn't enjoy that much, because I kinda liked the shield and sword playstyle, but some enemies just run away from you and shoot you with a bow, so it's kinda like you've got to use the environment or a bow to kill them. I have no problem with this, it changes up the playstyle and actually makes the game more fun. The problem lies in, again, no lock on, so when the enemy runs away from you, you're just hitting nothing. Now take that with a grain of salt, as I don't know if it's just bugged for me, but it did make the fight a lot more harder. Also, light attacking this enemy doesn't do anything. You've got to light attack this enemy 3 times, I believe, just to get 1 hit off, which gives you the incentive of actually doing a heavy attack. So obviously these are slower. So if you're charging up a heavy attack and the enemy runs away, you just miss him. So I don't really know what's happening with this fight. I don't know if there's some abilities that I'm just not using that I've missed somehow, or if I'm underleveled. But anyway, the majority of this game is awesome. I definitely think you should give it a try. Now, there's so much good to this game that it's hard to pick the bad. If you like these styles of games, you will definitely get your money's worth with this game. There is so much content here. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of variety variety here, so as you progress the story, you will keep unlocking magic abilities to use, all different by the way. That along with the enemy variety, the boss fights, the different armor types that you can swap out. So 100% give this game a try, I think you will have great fun. We don't get a game like this very often, it's actually been years. There's a lot more to this game that I have not shown because I didn't want to spoil the first time experience for you. Anyway, thanks for watching, I appreciate your time, I appreciate you, and goodbye.